Hello, everyone. It's been a while since we've done a live stream, but since today we just reached 4 years of this channel, I thought it would be fitting to do a live stream of some sort, or at least do something special because of it. So, in this stream, you guys, any questions related to trains, basically. I will not take any personal questions or stuff like where I live or what I do and so on. So, let's begin the stream here. We'll probably have some other people join in later on. So, just to start off with the stream, I'll basically tell you guys where I've been all this time. Hold on, my cat is talking to me. Hi, Nacho. Yeah, for context, I have 4 cats at the house, so I do apologize if you guys hear some meowing or crashing. It's most likely 9 times out of 10 the cats running around. And one of them here just wanted to say hi to everyone. Hi, Nacho. You want to say hi to everyone? Anyways, so where I've been all this time? Well, for context, I just got into college about maybe 6 months ago, roughly. Even though I'm a big train person and I really want to get a job for the railroad, I know it's not in the best cards at this time. And this is due to, well, for one, I am not a night person. I know if you have a railroad job, there will be a lot of night shifts. And it's just, I don't roll that way. Like, I cannot wake up 3 or 4 in the morning just to go to work. I just normally have to run a straight 9 to 5 job because that's how I function. So getting a railroad job is unlikely. So I had to think of like other jobs in order to actually, make a living. So right now I'm in college, and instead of doing something related to railroading, I'm actually becoming a hearing instrument specialist. Basically what a hearing instrument specialist is that, they test people's hearing. We can't actually diagnose people, but we basically work with the machines. We test people's hearing. We get an idea of what the person is having, like any type of hearing loss and so on. And we also, if I remember correctly, we also help out with hearing aids. Once again, I'm still getting the hang of the whole hearing aid thing. I just started, like I said, about 6 months ago. But I'm really liking the program so far. So due to a lot of college stuff, that's kind of the reason why I've not been on as much when it comes to making videos. And the GP9 was the first video I made in a span of a month. So it's been about a month since I actually posted a video. And it was an HO scale video, as you guys have noticed. And like I said in that video, I'm not switching from HO scale to O scale. I've done O scale for well over 12 years now, so I'm not switching anytime soon. And I know some people have switched, and I don't blame them due to prices going up and how expensive things are getting, but I'm going to try and stick to O scale as much as I can, because I've collected for so long, there's kind of no turning back now. But yeah, so that's basically what's been going on with me a little bit. Besides those factors, I also go to a model train club once a week. I go to the Evergreen Model Railroad Club. If you guys live in the Spokane area, it's a great place to go. The people there are pretty friendly. You guys get to talk trains and all that. The people there, like I said, are pretty friendly. They'll just talk trains. And they have a lot of stories to tell, because a lot of these guys are older guys. Like, they're in their 60s, 70s, and 80s. Some have railroad experience, so they have a lot of stories to tell. And they also help you out when it comes with HO scale stuff, because when I first joined, I was not really that keen on HO scale. I mean, I was not the best at it. Like, I didn't understand as well as my O scale stuff, because, going from one scale to another is a little bit of a switch. And I've understood that, HO scale is kind of like O scale, but it's just, there's a few extra steps, and you can actually open the stuff up if you ever need to fix it. I mean, you can with O-scale stuff, don't get me wrong. But with opening up these O-scale engines, they're almost like little robots to me. So I'm actually afraid of breaking them. Because you're basically opening up a $800 to a $1,200 engine versus a couple $100 HO scale engine. So obviously, you know, it'd probably be the safer option. So yeah, I've been going to the HO scale club. I go there with a couple friends and so on. And then the biggest thing I do is I volunteer at a railway museum. It's about maybe 40. Place is in Reardon, and it's called the Inland Northwest Railway Museum. And I've been volunteering there for about a year now. I've been doing a whole bunch of different tasks there. And currently the museum is kind of open to the public, but kind of not at the same time. It's mainly open during the spring, summer, and into the winter. Well, the beginning of winter. Do you see any Thomas H. O. scale models? Yes, actually, at the train club I go to, there's one of my friends named Stuart, and he is a big Thomas guy, and he has a lot of Bachman and Hornby, Thomas and Friends characters. And he's also pretty smart, too. Like, he's converted a lot of them to DCC, some, I think, even with sound. I could be wrong, but I think mainly DCC. And recently, he just got a Hornby Stepney, which is his dream locomotive, and I'm pretty happy for him, because I know finding those Hornby Stepneys are pretty hard to come by, and they're very, very expensive. That's for sure. And then also, you know, related to the trains as well. At the museum I volunteer at, there is a big O-scale layout, like 3 to 4 times the size of mine. And I sometimes bring my trains there to run. It's a lot of fun showing the trains off to the public because, you know, running trains at my house is one thing, but actually running it at a public place and showing it off, it's just that kind of makes you feel good. Like, not only that you get to enjoy these engines, but the public gets to too. I don't collect model trains, but Bachman Bow is sparking interest. Yeah, Bachman Bow. Bow is a really interesting sort because, well, he's the first one out of the Bachman Thomas range to not have moving eyes. And I can understand why they didn't do that feature, because Bachman is using the 440 tooling they've used for a very long time. And modifying that tooling to have the moving eyes would be very hard to do. If I was into Thomas like I was back then, I would collect Bachman Thomas stuff, but nowadays I mainly focus on the real things. Isn't Bow like a retooled Jupiter? Well, it is. So basically, it is a retool version of Jupiter, but the 440 tooling they use for every single one of their engines is a standard 19th century 440 tooling like you see on the York, the Leviathan, 119, Jupiter, and so on. All that tooling is basically representing those engines. But yeah, so now that I've explained what's just been going on, I will start off by showing a couple of things I've done in Train Simulator as well, because not only I've been doing stuff there, but I've also been doing, you know, Train Simulator stuff. Since for context, I am a custom content creator now. Of course, I don't actually, you know, put stuff to the public. I did at one point, but that was maybe like 2 years ago. So all the stuff I do is private content, and most of it I've done myself, except I have gotten help from a few friends, so I really support them for helping me out. I'll go ahead and spawn in trains, and I'll show you what I've done for the past few months. Now, I've done quite a bit, as you can tell by the new profile background. One of them is indeed this engine right here. So, hey, congrats on 4,000 or 4 years. You're an amazing person, one of the greatest people I've ever met. Keep up the good work. Oh, thanks, man. Thank you so much. So I might as well share my screen. What's a good route? Yeah, there's a lot of route options I have. Yeah, I guess do Stranton Falls line. That works. All right, we'll go ahead and share my screen. So as I was saying about this locomotive on my profile, the locomotive is Washington, Idaho, and Montana Railway, 1838. So 1838, which I actually have in trains here. Me and a friend worked on it, and after we made 1838, it was pretty easy to make the other Jeep 9s. This is what she looked like on Central Montana, but this works. Yeah, this works for now. So 1838 is a 1956 built Jeep 9, originally built for the Great Northern. She would be one of 6 Great Northern Montana Railroad in 1985. But before then, she worked for BN, and that's where she got her BN number. And when she was sold to the Central Montana, she was painted in this dark blue, which I think looks really sharp. But what I find interesting is that, not only she's the youngest of the Jeeps to ever run on Central Montana, she's also the only one to be painted in the dark blue. All the other ones here were in the lighter blue. If I can spawn them all in. Yeah, I did all the Central Montana engines. For context, Central Montana is a short line railroad in Denton, Montana, and they still use some of these ex-Great Northern GP9s that were built in the 50s, which is just astounding, considering that these engines, like I said, are almost 70 years old, and they're still running. But yeah, I've actually seen 1838, and funny enough, 1838 was the very first locomotive I ever got a cab ride in. Yes, it was not a steam locomotive. It was a diesel of all things. Well, someone sent me something in DMs. All right, there we go. I'm back. So also in the process, when making this, I also did the other GP9s, as I mentioned. I forgot all the row numbers on the top of my head. Like I said, 1838 was originally 686. 1824, I'll have to look at my list really quick, because I did a list of all these Jeep 9s, which reminds me, as you guys know, I'm a big Steam guy. I have been for the longest time. But it was because of 1838 that I got into first generation diesels. So I have that to thank. So 1809 was X657. If I go to 1809 here, this is one that is still around. It was retired by Central Montana in about 2019. It was sold to Western Rail, but then Western Rail eventually sold it or donated it to the city of Kalispell, Montana, and they cosmetically restored the thing back into its sky blue appearance, which is my favorite paint scheme on the Great Northern. Hello there. Welcome to the stream. So 1809 is on display, enjoying a retirement. 1810 was 658, I believe was the number. It's on my list here. Yep. She was X Great Northern 658. All these Jeeps here, besides 1838, were 1954 batches, or they're part of the 1954 batch of engines. Then right here I have 1810. Now I will say not all these horns are accurate for these types of engines. The GP9s mainly had the Leslie RS3K horns, since that's what the Great Northern variations had. The Great Northern variations had the Leslie RS3Ks, which is what most of these have. Some of them don't have Leslie RS3Ks. Some have Leslie S3Ls, which are a little bit different sounding. But yeah, so nothing much to say about the reef skinning work. I basically took 1838, lightened the color on them, also did a little bit of different, striping here, because each of them had a little bit of a different striping. But yeah, so we have 1810. This one actually still runs on the Central Montana Railroad today, which is just astounding. Then we have 1814, which is another ex-Great Northern GP9. All of them were ex-Great Northern. 1814 was originally engine 662, and she still runs on the Central Montana to this day. Then we have 1817, which was the unlucky one of the bunch. So 1817 was ex-Great Northern 665. She was sold to Central Montana just like the other Jeeps. But in 2019, she bit the cutter's torch. Unfortunately, I've happened to see that locomotive when driving by Western Rail. It was a pretty gruesome sight to see a Jeep in pieces, I will say that. So yeah, this locomotive is no longer with us. Well, it is, just in pieces, like I said. Basically, the flat part is still there. The cabin front or the short hood are still there, but this whole bit here and the trucks and underneath here are gone. Pretty much nothing left of the thing. Then we have 1824. This one is yet again another ex-Great Northern GP9. It was originally number 672. Now this one I don't think has a Leslie RS3K. I think this one has the Leslie S3L. I could be wrong. Even though it's not the exact horn 1824 had, I think it sounds pretty nice on it. And then lastly, we have 1830, which I've already mentioned, 1838. But one thing I did not say about the 1838. Hold on, some point really quick. Just setting this. So one thing I did not mention about locomotive 1838 here. I already mentioned, she was the only one to be in dark blue, the only one to be in the 1956 batch that the Central Montana had. So when she was sold to Western Rail, she wasn't exactly sold, you see. Central Montana traded this locomotive, and I believe 1817, I could be totally wrong, but I think they traded the two locomotives to Central Montana, Western Rail, for a GP30 or GP40, number 3001. And in return, Central Montana got the 3001, while the Central Montana Railroad, or should I say Western Rail, got 1838 and 1817. And since 1838 was in really good condition, they decided to use it as a leasing engine until it was bought by the Washington, Idaho, and Montana Railroad in 2023 or 2024. But yeah, so we have all the units here. Really like how they turned out. We also changed the engine sounds. And with this one, we also gave it the plow on this end. Because in real life, this locomotive had the plow on the front, but not on the back. So that's all the Central Montana engines. Really happy with how they turned out. Yes, they're not 100% accurate. Like there's the window on the one side was enclosed since they ran long nose forward. This is a Great Northern thing. They mainly had a enclosed window on one side. I have not added them yet onto these. I would really like to at some point, though. Then I'll show a couple other things as well. Okay. Northern Alberta, yeah, we'll do that. I'm still working on this one. It's not going to be done for a good amount of time. But what this is here is it's going to be a Northern Alberta Railway decapod. Once again, I have not done the sounds yet. I have not done any of the stuff with the tender. I still have yet to find a tender for it. And it's not going to be the most 100% accurate Northern Alberta decapod out there, but I'm pretty sure no one's even tried this. And these decapods really interested me because, you know, I've not seen very many of them that had an Alesco-style feed water heater, which is most certainly different. Thanks. I really appreciate that. Like I said, this one's not even close to done. I still yet have to change the engine sounds, make a tender for it. But I don't know where I'm going to find a tender for it because the decapods had a really interesting style tender. So there's that. Then I'm sure some of you guys are wondering about 5307, the P7 that I did. Well, I did do some work to it after the music video. So it has received updates, and it is finally done. This is its finished state. Stuff I did to it is I gave it a new headlight that looks a whole lot better. We also gave it new class light lenses. I made a new whistle for it. Engine sounds are still the same. And then I also decreased the amount of folders in this engine because at one point I had like over 41 folders of parts in the thing, which made the file size on this thing ginormous, meaning it was a pain to load in the game. Oh, hey, Knight. Well, welcome to the stream. We'll see. But yeah, I'm really proud of how this thing turned out, and this could not have been. Yeah, it's just, you know, the thing is, yes. Yeah, I was just telling a friend, yes, I am live streaming. But yeah, this engine has so many parts in it, I can't even care to count. So with the engine, with the new headlight, it has a emissive, actually a way better emissive than the previous one. Class lights are still the same in terms of the Coronas. Here's the whistle I made for it. I think it came out really nice. Oh, hey, Ryan. And then also, I forgot. I also T-bumped the whistle and the safety valves because the bell itself had end metal T-bump on it. So I wanted to make sure that both the bell and the whistle and safety valves match the bell, or they all match each other, I should say. So there's that. How's bro doing? I'm doing pretty good. How about you? But yes, that is the 5307. Really, once again, I'm really happy with how this turned out. Also in the process, I did make a second version of this. I decided to do, I mean, of course, you know, with steam locomotives, they're shiny and brand new once they go out of their first restoration. I decided to do this to 5307. I decided to give the engine env metal instead of T-bumping because I want it to all look the same, and I think it looks fan-flippin-tastic. Just my issue is I have to make the passenger cars the same way too. But honestly, it looks amazing with the envy metal. Pretty sure you're good after. Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, I'm fine. Oh, nice. That's really cool. As a B&O person, I approve. Planning to T-bump the P7? I would, but I just gave this thing env metal. And it took me 4 hours just to actually give this thing the env metal. I'm not going to go through that process again. And that's because of how many folders of parts were in this thing. But yeah, then also, before we go on to the next engine, we have the cab interior, which you may think is normal until you look at this here. We have a PTC system in the cab. A friend of mine made the PTC mesh, and then up here we have the little box for it. And also in the tender here, we have the PTC as well. So if this locomotive was still around in present times, you could actually theoretically run this on the main line, since a lot of mainline railroads nowadays require PTC. So we have that. Then we also have, I have not done much to this one. This is the Potomac. It's kind of like a revamp, but not really. This is the Potomac I have for my fictional. So with this one, I gave it new smoke, new sound, engine sounds as well. Also changed the blowdown. Then I also made my own whistle for it. My friend actually did the emissive for me, which was pretty nice of him. Then he also gave me the class light positions. I think it looks a lot better with the class lights. And then I also made the whistle for it. So this is a actual Potomac whistle. This is from Western Maryland number 1411. If you've seen the cast Ghost Whistles recordings, this is where that whistle came from. And then also in the process, I wanted to try and find a Potomac bell. And, well, I did find one. And I will say, I thought the Potomac bell was going to sound a lot different, but I didn't think it would sound anything like this. It almost, to me, sounds like 1218's bell, just hand-rung. So we have that. Thanks. Yeah, that whistle was kind of an interesting thing for me, because this was the first time I ever made a whistle that actually sounded great, and it was successful. Jeez, it's almost midnight for you. I forgot you live in a different country. That's why. But yeah, so we have that. Then I might as well also show off an engine that a friend of mine modeled for me, and I have to thank him so much for this. So, a lot of people have DM'd me and asked me about these engines here. Actually, a friend of mine wants to join, so I'll send him the link. Oh, trains, stop. Okay, there we go. Good luck with the rest of the stream, gang. Thanks, I really appreciate it. So the plan is we're going to have this live stream go on for about an hour and a half. That's the plan. All right, let's spawn in the Pensy engines. That's the DRHS version. I should probably show that one last. So if you know me, I'm a big fan of Pensy M1s, and you're all in for a real treat. So here is the Pensy M1. But we don't have the normal version here. We have all of them. I asked my friend just to make me the M1A version. He surprised me and he decided to do all of them for me. So a big thanks to him for doing that for me. Where's the tender for this one? Yeah, there's a couple different tenders for these. He made 4 different versions. There is a 5th version, but it's an engine that my friend kit-bashed out of the parts that B&A made for it to make the mid-war version, which I'll show that one later. So here is this one. Then we also need the M1B as well. Some people have looked at this and they thought it was a K&L when they completely didn't know that B&A actually modeled this from scratch. Yeah, I don't know why there was 2 of you. Okay, there we go. We'll number it to 6755, which is, why not? It's fitting. So we have all the M1s here. Oh, hey, Knight.
Well,
welcome to the stream.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Oh, yeah, Knight, I'm also going to tell some DMs. Yeah, he promised to keep it family friendly. All right, I'm letting him in now. Hello there.
What's up, guys? What y'all doing?
Welcome to the stream. So I'm showing off some of the train stuff in the process first before we play some games. So I just spawned in the Pensy M1s.
Nice.
Most of them, anyways. So
Cool.
So B&A decided to surprise me and make all of the different versions. I expected to make the singular M1A because, that's the one that I really like. I am a big fan of pre-war locomotives. I just love how they look.
Yeah.
So he ended up surprising me, and he decided to do the M1, the M1As, and the M1B as well.
Nice.
So what he did is he made the versions we actually have a couple different toggles here. We have different pilot options. You have the switcher pilot, which it all depended on the engine. Some had it and some didn't.
Very cool.
Pilot. And then hold on, what is this? What is this? Oh yeah, I forgot. Only the prototype M1 had this.
Ow.
So the prototype M1 had these extended pistons. It really does look weird to me.
It doesn't look too bad.
I mean, it looks kind of weird. I'm very glad that the other versions were not given the same treatment, but I think he added it just for giggles. So Yeah, I think
Excuse me.
passenger pilot. We also have different windows. The windows move. Got which side is which? Okay, yeah, that's the right there. So it's the left. We have a opening roof hatch as well. And then this is what really surprised me. We have the opening headlight lens.
That is something that I really find interesting on B&A's models. Considering I also have his Southern Bird that he made, his fictional Southern Bird.
Oh,
I found that pretty interesting.
it's just, for the longest time, when he's made stuff, he never actually did this. This was his first time actually doing it, and it was a pretty nice surprise because I can't think of any other person that does this kind of thing. Not even K&L does the opening headlight lens.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet is the key word. They might do it at some point. So we have the M1. This has the short tender because they first were given the short tender, but then they were given the long haul tenders.
Why is Discord not loading on my PC? Why is it doing
Then we have the M1A. Now I did modify this one slightly.
Yeah.
So the one thing I modified on it was that this thing now has toggleable class lights because some M1As had it and some didn't. Then we also have the switcher pilot one here as well.
Neato.
Water scoop as well. And then we have a little thing in here for funnies.
Did you customly do that, or did B&A do that customly?
B&A did that. B&A did everything here.
All right.
So he did great work. And then we have probably the wackiest version that you'll see. We have the passenger variation.
I don't find it wacky. It looks fine to me.
It's just, I know I've talked to a lot of people who are Penta guys, and they thought this was wacky. I mean, they thought the K4s were fine, but on an M1A, it just looked wacky to them.
Looks fine to me.
I mean,
but then again, I don't foam over Pensy stuff. I'm the Southern Savannah, Atlanta, West Point foamer.
Good, those are good railroads.
Oh, and also Gainesville Midland. I completely forget. Gainesville Midland's one of my new favorite railroads too.
I was making the Northern Alberta Decapod from the Gainesville Midland engine.
Ooh.
It's still...
Which variant were you using? 2.8 or 2.09?
I was using. I can't remember on the top of my head. And here we have the M1B variation.
That's post-war, right?
Yep, post-war.
Okay, Discord, why are you not?
And just like the K&L model, B&A decided to give it the operational coupler.
That's nice.
But the cool thing about it is that the chain actually works with it too.
Oh, neat.
Which is something I've never seen before. And this
I've been trying to.
Yes?
I'm sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead. You first.
So besides that, he also did a new tender for it and a new tender doghouse interior as well.
Ooh, doghouse. Oh, Jesus. I'm so sorry.
Then we have a 5th version of it that a friend of mine kit bashed to me for my birthday, which was really nice of him. He actually surprised me. And this was a thing. At first, he didn't think it was real, but I already knew about these. Only 2 of these engines ever looked like this. So we have, we have the post-war, we have the pre-war, but there also was a mid-war version. And here we go. If I can just find the tender for it. Yep, here it is. So this is the mid-war version. So the mid-war version, as you can tell, it has a mix of post-war and pre-war. It has the headlight position. That is pre-war. but it has the post-war style class lights and pilot. And there only was ever 2 M1As that were given this treatment. Those were numbers. Those were numbers 6794 and 6795.
Very interesting. I never knew that.
I think even a couple K4s were also given the same treatment too.
Now that's interesting.
And then, if you know me, I just got into T-bumping recently. I decided to tackle T-bumping days.
T what?
So it's called T-bumping. Basically what you do is you make the engine all shiny and new.
Oh, give it a wax job. Okay.
Yeah, basically. And this is what the passenger version looks like, and I think it looks sick with the T-bump.
Yeah, it doesn't look half bad.
And that's basically what they looked like, brand new.
Hmm.
The nerds.
I don't want to hear that no more.
Of course.
Y'all called me a nerd. I don't like that no more. Right, he called me a nerd, man. I don't like that.
You know what?
I have a question about the P7.
Yeah, sure.
Funny enough, when I was talking with my girlfriend, because she lives up in Baltimore, yeah?
Yep.
And she likes the Beano Museum, bro. She's been there. She actually saw the... I forget, it's the one that's at the Beano. That's a P7, right?
Yep, the number 5300, or also known as President.
Yeah, she's volunteering up there currently, bro.
Oh, lucky. Oh, she's lucky.
Yeah, so I'm going to be seeing her up in February. She's going to get me a private tour up in there, bro.
I'm really wondering how much progress they've done on that P7, because I've not heard any progress for the last year or two.
I got pictures. I'll send them to you.
Oh, sure.
I'll send them to you in just a little. I'm trying to delete
I know she's being cosmetically restored, that's for sure. But I think the reason why they're doing it is that, if someone actually does want to run the thing,
yeah,
they wouldn't have to do much work at all.
Yeah.
Now, the main difference here between this P7 and 5300 is that there's actually quite a few differences. So the cab, for one, this version has smaller drivers, because when I did this P7, I wanted to do a mix of both worlds. Like a hybrid model in a way. So I have an MTH P7, as you guys know, the pride and joy of my O-scale collection. And in the process, I also wanted to make it, semi-accurate as well. So I basically took inspiration from the MTH model, but I also added some of the real-life stuff onto it. So it's kind of like, like what you see done by that one guy who does Thomas hybrid models. It's basically the same as this.
Smart.
And she has 37 folders of parts. Not as much as what she had before. But it obviously, it took a lot of work to get done.
Yeah.
And then also, we'll show off a couple more trains things, but then we'll do something on Roblox probably.
That's if my computer will let me. Because for some reason, Discord is not loading. And it's just being stinky. Big stinky. Very big. Very, very big.
Oh yeah, then we have a couple Great Northern things. I cannot forget showing off some Great Northern stuff.
Really, before you quit, again with the PFP7, do you know if it would work in Tane or not?
I did make a Tane version of the P7.
May I have permission to use it?
If you have all the parts for it.
I have every Kano item I have now.
The main engines that have it are the 290. The
I got
PS4.
290. 290 and what?
PS4 mainly. Those are the main ones that have it. All the other ones, I believe, are freeware meshes from a whole bunch of other.
Speaking about PS4, if you haven't noticed my current profile picture, it's a brass PS4 that I bought.
Oh, nice.
You want to hear the story behind that?
Sure.
So I saw it at the train show last week. It went for $210. I got the guy to ship it down to $90 plus a locomotive.
That's really good.
If you're wondering which locomotive I gave him that gray coat UP ES44.
Oh.
Yeah, the Athearn one that they made.
Athearn makes good stuff, so.
Yeah. Give me a sec. All right. Discord being stinky. Hold on. Give me a second. I'll be right back.
All right. Yeah, so here we have the Great Northern Pacific. Well, one of two, I should say. So the recent things I've done with this one is I found a new tender for it, but I also kit bashed a little bit by putting new tender trucks on it. Because for context, I wanted it to look like 1351 as much as I can. And it mostly worked, but there's a couple things that, are not accurate. For one, well, sorry, not the bell. The whistle, I thought it had a Great Northern 5 chime, like a lot of other Great Northern steam locomotives, until I found out later that it had a modified 3 chime of some sort, like a Lunkenheimer or a Baldwin or something like that. It was just weird, because it also had squared off holes. So that means I would have to change the whistle mesh back to the 3 chime. Which I'm not going to be a fan of, but if it means for this thing to look different, or look more like 1351, I'll do that. Then here we have 1455, which is the other Great Northern Pacific here.
All right, I got it back to work.
All right.
No, why would you send me that? No.
Yeah, so we have the Great Northern 5 on this. We have them on both. I do have a little quiz for you guys. Where do you think this Great Northern 5 chime came off of?
Blow it one more time.
This whistle right here.
Can you blow it one more time? I would have to say McLeod 25. That's my best guess.
Knight, what is your guess?
Probably the same as George. McLeod 25.
All right. So, anyone else have any guesses in the chat? I'll give them a couple minutes. I will say though, it's from a big engine, and it's an engine 5. There only was ever one video I ever found of this 5 chime.
Big engine. Was it from the last surviving S2?
No, well, the S2 never actually ran excursion service.
I know that, but I'm sure someone took the whistle off and used it on an excursion engine.
Well, probably, but the thing is with the S2s is that they had any whistle you can think of. They had
from 5, anything to anything.
6s. Okay. Some probably had 6s, but they mainly had 5s and 7s. Santa Fe 31 or 3751 from the 90s. That is a good guess, but no. Big boy. No, it's not a bit from a big boy. So I will spawn it in. I think I have it in trains. So the correct answer was 765.
Oh, wait. When did she wear a Great Northern Flag?
She wore it about 5 or 6 years ago. It's strange. I didn't know she even wore it.
Mm. Very interesting.
I forgot Jake made this version to have the PRR3.
Ah, yes. The Cotton Belt Electric Diesel, my favorite.
But yeah, it was from 765. Rather
Neato.
rather interesting engine.
Very nice. Very interesting. I also sent you a picture of the full PS4
I love
in the
that.
snow. Especially because it snowed like the weekend, like through 2 days later. This was during Tuesday.
I think let me see that again. I love that photo.
Looks
That
so.
looks so
Hold
good.
on, let me pull up some more if you're interested in taking a look.
Oh, hey, Liam's here. Speaking of the other great northern person, here we have, yes, a Z8. Okay, S2. Yes, we have a Z8 Challenger here.
When are you gonna make the Z? When are you gonna make the Z6 GN version?
I have to get a few custom meshes for that. Well, more, or should I say custom decals? So here we have the Z8 on the SPNS. We have 910 and its sister 911. Both were built in 1944, to my memory. And 910 was the very last steam engine to run on SPNS.
I was about to say, were those the Great Northern Challengers that B&M made?
So Great Northern had Challengers, but they were not these.
I'm sorry, Yellowstones.
What?
They were called Yellowstones. I'm sorry.
Hey, no worries. Great Northern did have Challengers. I will say that.
Do you have B&A's ones or not?
Yeah, these are B&A's ones, just modified the heck.
Do you still have the original Great Northern ones? I mean, not Great Northern Pacific.
Yes, I do have the original MP ones.
Okay.
I don't know if we're on this computer or not.
Okay, because I'm looking for like 4 dips for the engine. I can't find them anywhere.
I think. Well, here is number 5100 here, just modified a little bit.
Very nice. Yeah, like the only one I currently have, which I found on my own, was the whistle of the thing. That would be the first one. So.
Yes, we have 910 here. I did T-bump one to make it look brand new.
It looks really good.
I think it looks pretty good with the T-bump. I might do the same to the other one, but we'll see.
Have you take a look in your DMs? These are all the photos I took as of recently. Plus the PS4.
We'll see. All right.
Yeah, that also reminds me. After I'm done with high school, I'm gonna go work up on the Rock Line.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, the guy who runs the Stone Mountain Railroad, he really likes me, and he wants me to work for him once I
That's
graduate.
really cool. I would kill to work for a railroad, but then again, I do volunteer for a railroad museum in Reardon. All right,
dude.
you know what? After these challenges, we're going to do something a bit fun.
What you have in mind?
Would you guys be interested in doing some Jeopardy?
No, alright, why not?
It's a custom-made Jeopardy I made.
Oh no, okay.
So before we do it, there's 910 and 911. 911 was scrapped in 1960 along with the other Challengers.
So very late.
Yeah. NP and SP and S were the only ones to have Z8s. The Great Northern never had Z8s, they had Z6s, which is what 5100 is back here.
And I'm guessing the difference would be, I guess they would have been a little bit shorter.
Actually, a little bit
Or
shorter,
the same.
a little bit of different pilot, higher boiler pressure, and a little bit more tractive effort, and a different tender as well. So they were a
But
little bit different.
But I also checked. I do have everything for your Tane P7.
All right.
So never you did the shit.
And before we go in there, I saved this for the last, and this is probably the one reskin as / Kit Bash that's gotten probably the most attention. Even more
If it's old 97, I'm a flip.
No, it's not. But here is.
Oh yeah, I remember you showing me this.
We have the one of a kind maroon D10.
That looks really nice.
I made 5 different versions. So this here was the thing. There only was ever one D10 that was ever painted in maroon. And this is basically what it looked like. It had the white walls, had the maroon on the cab and tender. Really happy with how this turned out.
Very nice.
The mapping, though, on this thing, I hate it. I hate the mapping. I just hate the mapping on this thing. Then we also have a couple other versions. Second one, so V1 and V2 are accurate. These are the accurate ones. But we have a couple what-if variations as well. We have a what-if high headlight version. We have 2 high headlights. Now, obviously, there was D10s that had high headlights, but 962 did not get it. She's always had the centered headlight. Yeah, we have the high headlight D10. And then we have the last one, which is a V5 variation. Now, this paint scheme was a thing, but none of the D10s had this. So this is the freight variation. Well, not exactly freight. It's just the end of steam version, because a lot of CPR engines that were once maroon were later repainted to have, the black striping. I think this thing came out pretty good.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I went so quiet playing Locomotive 115.
Hey, no worries. Yeah, we have all of that done. We have all the train stuff done. All right, now time to actually do some game stuff. Liam's a couple minutes. Yeah, so the plan is we'll go for another 30 minutes. That is the plan.
Sounds good to me.
And we will do Jeopardy in a few minutes. I'm just gonna wait for Liam to get in, so we actually have 3 people doing it instead of 2.
Oh crud! They're getting closer.
What?
The gremlins on my Tinder. They're getting closer. Getting closer. Right in front of them. Right in front of the search. Reload quickly, please.
They have Z8 Challenger. Now, I will ask you guys this. What would have to be your favorite extinct locomotive? It can be steam, diesel, electric, you name it. Because I have always wondered about your guys' favorite extinct engine.
For me, it would have to be the. What would it be for me? Extinct wise, it would have to be the Southern heavy USR Mikados.
So the MS4s.
Yeah, the ones that Broadway Limited are producing, that they've been producing for years, that variant.
Yeah, I think that's an MS4.
Yeah, because that, for one, that was my first ever Broadway Limited engine from the same senior railroad engineer. I got it from him as a gift. That was his own personal engine that he put special sound effect, because he drove both 290 and 750 in their excursion careers. Not to mention he drove 290 in fried green tomatoes.
Oh, really?
So he quite literally had him blowing the whistle in that movie. So he had 290's Central Georgia 6 time on it. If I could, I would show you a clip.
That is really cool.
Yeah, but I'm very thankful of that man to give me that chance. So hopefully once I'm done with high school, give him my resume and start working.
Well, hey, Frank might be joining. What do you know?
Frank of Addison?
Yep.
It's Uncle Sunky!
Or another word to describe him, he's my long-distance cousin.
It's Uncle Sunky, he's my uncle. Hooray! Is Autumn? Would Autumn might be joining us?
I don't know if she will be.
Don't stop. I know they're behind me. Come on. Just build up more pressure, baby. You got this.
Night, that looks so cool. The original Hocking Valley Tweedo, that looks so cool.
Oh god, they're in the cold.
What?
The gremlins are in the cold. They're in my tender.
But yeah, for me, my favorite extinct engine, that's a really hard choice. Because, there's quite a few I really like.
Don't stop. Oh, I'm dead. Wendigo got me. Oh shoot, Tree Boy.
Hold on a second.
You might want to take a look in the private chat.
Okay, let me see. Yeah. Alright, so we might have Frank join in a few minutes.
Sweet.
Since we're on here, I might as well check, my most... not my most, but my most recent video. Because I'm curious to see what the progress is on that because I've not really looked at it in a while.
While you do that, I'm gonna find the. Where is it?
We almost have 1,400 views on that video. Jeez.
Let me see here. No, let me actually show you the video that I still have somewhere archived of my that engine with 290's whistle on it. Funny thing is, I did it with a doubleheader with my friend's engine, which is like more modern than mine, and yet we still got them to run in unison.
Really?
Oh yeah, this is a Paragon 4. Well, mine's like one of the original blue boxes. Here, take a look in your DMs.
Paragon 4.
It's like the newest rendition of what Red Rossi's doing.
Oh, that looks nice.
He custom weathered it, and then not long after he gave me one of the new Bachman Hudsons.
That's really cool. So I think in the process on this stream, we'll also go over the new Lionel catalog as well, because that's something I've been meaning to do as well. I have already looked at it, but I'm sure some of these guys are wondering what are my thoughts on it, considering I'm a big O scaler. So, all right. Here we go. So we're going on to the new 2025 catalog.
I know 2025.
Okay, screen can
That's a bomber, right?
All right. You should be able to see the screen here. So this is the new Lionel catalog for 2025. I know some of you guys have already probably seen it, or a lot of you have probably seen it, but I'm sure some of you guys are wondering, what do I think of it? I am going to explain what I think about it in the nicest way possible when we go through each thing. So we have, our basic stuff here at the beginning. Then this is the big thing that, Lionel's just been teasing for a little bit of time. They're doing the Vision Line Hudsons. They're doing the Commodore Vanderbilt and the 700E, or should I say J1E version. And I really like how they're bringing them back, but the Commodore Vanderbilt, I don't think deserves to be a Vision Line engine. Because...
Why?
Well, for one, this tooling, I know what tooling they're using. This is actually almost 30-year-old tooling. I have the original version of this, which I'm pretty happy with it, but I can tell this is the original tooling. They're probably just going to modify it slightly to a Vision Line standard, but it's generally generally the same tooling. And I think $1,800 for a engine of this caliber is not really worth it, considering you can get the older version for maybe like $400. I've seen them go for. Plus,
Can I say something really quick about that?
Sure.
With your comment?
Yeah.
You want to know why they're going to make it $800, dude?
Yeah.
You forget they're adding new stuff onto that. Like, yeah, the shell's the same, but the internals are completely different.
Yeah, but it's just there's not a lot of separately applied details, and you get a lot more bang for your buck with the legacy engines. And considering, the only two features you're getting with this that is over a legacy engine, well, sorry, only one, is it has a swinging bell feature. That's it.
All right, fair enough.
It's virtually the same as a legacy engine, but the swinging bell defeats the purpose of these things because you're not going to be seeing the swinging bell that much in action since it's mostly a streamlined locomotive to me. So yeah, I think $1,800 is a little steep for one. I would probably go for maybe more like the $1,500 range, but well, Lionel has to make money somehow. Then we have the 125th anniversary stuff here. Passenger cars. I mean, those are cool and all, but $1,000 for them is not my cup of tea. Then we have this thing. Now, this thing is kind of funky. So, what they did is they took the Lionel Legacy 442s they've done for years and just chopped off the front pilot truck. And make it into a 242, which I get it. The Lionel Scout has been a thing for many years, but I don't know why you chose the Legacy Atlantic for that. Here we have the Legacy S2 steam turbine, which this one is pretty exciting because we have not seen the Legacy S2 in over 12 years.
I have the MTH original one.
Those are nice. I do like the MTH ones. Then here we have the Vision Line pre-war set. So these train sets are meant to carry on the legacy of old tin plate and post-war trains that were back in the days when our grandpas had these things. Now these are not.
You mean your grandpa's, dog? You mean yours, grandpa's?
Yeah, basically. But yeah, I like how they're doing an inspiration of the tin plate tender because the 763 back in the 40s had this tender. But once again, $2,400 for that set. I mean, unless if you're someone who has a lot of money, that's something for you, but not for me. Then we have a couple train sets here, a little bit overpriced for my liking.
Now, hear me out. I wouldn't mind grabbing the original coaches because I have the 2021 releases of the Lionel Lines PAs.
Oh, really?
So I wouldn't mind. Yeah, I got them for Christmas, which I can actually maybe pull them out right now. Here we are. Here's the power.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I'm be honest. I wouldn't mind grabbing the coaches just to complete the look.
I mean, that is totally understandable. Then we have O-Scale. See, here's the Vision Line stuff. We have all the Vision Line Hudsons here. They're doing a lot of Hudsons. Now, 1,800, I think, is worth it for this thing, considering all the detail you're getting for that price.
Yeah.
And, the other thing is that's basically how much they were back in 2010.
Is that when they actually did re-release them?
Yeah, so they only made it in 2010, and that was it. So for the 125th anniversary, this is rather fitting. So we have 5 versions on this page. We have the 5344, which is probably going to be the most popular one out of the bunch. Then we have the 5403, which is a normal-looking Hudson. Below that, we have probably the one that is the most interesting out of the bunch, if it will. Okay, there we go. There we go. The most interesting one out of the bunch is this one right here, number 5320. This one does not have the class lights, which is a very interesting touch because and it is accurate because a good amount of New York Central locomotives did not have the class lights. Then down here we have probably the most attractive one, number 5315 with the white pinstriping.
Ooh.
And then above we have one with the the PT tender. If I had the cash or money, I would probably go for number 5315 or number 5320, one of those two. Then we have what if versions. I know these are supposed to be gray, but they're not gray. It's just the catalog rendering does not look good. So we have essentially the 20th century limited version of this, which if you've seen the Lionel Vision Line Niagara, that's basically what this is going to look like. Below we have I'm pretty sure this is going to be the gunmetal gray version like they did the previous run. Then we also have 2 other versions. Now this one is accurate, actually. The 502, the Toronto, Hamilton, and Buffalo, they did have a couple of New York Central Hudsons. And this, I believe, was supposed to be the one that got preserved from them, but it didn't. Its tender is still around, though. Then we have probably the one that's the most colorful one. We have the Pacemaker. And I like how they did number 5340 because, as we know, the original post-war Hudson, the pre-war Hudson, the 700E came out in 1937, but they did actually do a remake of it in 1990, I think it was. And the number they chose was number 5340. So it's really cool to see them actually paying homage as well to the 1990s variant of these Hudsons. Catalog is still loading. I have no idea why. There we go. Then we have the Niagara Falls Deluxe. We have some passenger cars here. This here we have a Michigan Central Hudson, which I think is really cool because MTH was the only one that did that. Then we have the Commodore Vanderbilt. And these are pretty cool as well, but 1779 is a bit steep, but we'll see how they look once they're done.
Better than nothing.
Then we have the 20th Century Limited set, probably the most expensive set in this total catalog.
Oh yeah,
30
I'm very excited to see that at a change show next year.
$3,600 for that set, but then again, you are getting an engine and you're getting 6 passenger cars. But they're selling, but I don't think that's kind of worth it because for just 2 of them it's worth $600 that Lionel's doing now, which is, like this. I just feel like $600 for 2 passenger cars is not worth it in the slightest.
Well, then again, if you think about it, besides lighting and interior, they'll have rail sounds.
That's only with the Station Sounds Diner. That's $500 for one car that has the Station Sounds.
Oh.
So, and if you think about it, there's the MTH cars. I did actually comment on, I think, Joker's Train's video about this. But when it comes to the... Oh, hello there, Randall. But yeah, so as I was saying, when comparing these to the MTH ones, which they have about the same detailing. In fact, I think they actually have more detailing. They're going for... You can get 4 or 5 of them for $500, which is the same price as these, or even cheaper. So to me, it's just $600 for 2 cars makes no sense. Then we have the Florida East Coast Auto Rack set. This is a nice looking paint scheme, I'll say that. I know a couple people thought this paint scheme looked a little weird, but it's a really interesting paint scheme for sure. $1,400 for the whole set. You're getting is auto racks. And you also get a Vision Line auto rack in the Consist, which I think that is a good deal, considering it's $350 and it's $750 for just the 2 items, which is the locomotive in here and the stock in the auto rack. The other auto rack cars are like $100 a piece, almost $200 a piece. So you're getting your money's worth with that. We have more stock cars, steam engines. This is the one that I was extremely excited about. I don't know if I would order one, considering, my budget and all that. But what we have here is the Lionel Legacy S2 steam turbines. And unlike the previous run, these ones are going to have whistle steam. And also you'll get smoke lifters with them too. So you get different smoke lifters for each version. You can do the normal as-built version with the small wing deflectors. Then you also have this version in service with the smoke lifters, which is my favorite version of the S2. Then below it you have a Lowy Inspire paint scheme, which I think, even though it was never a paint scheme the S2 had, it looks really good to me. And I should also should mention the price. $1,400 for the engine. That is a very reasonable price for one of those, considering Lionel released their Legacy Pacifics a couple years ago, and they're smaller than these, and they're $200 more. So you are getting more than your money's worth with these. Now, because of how big they are going to need 072, which I have, but I'm hoping if I ever would go for one, I would pick one up for maybe 11 or 1200, maybe. It all really depends.
Reminds me of the. It feels like they decided to copy the idea from Broadway Limited when they did their S2 run with the Tuscan Red.
I think
I'm gonna be for real.
if
I had to get a realistic S2, I would rather maybe get the HO one since I'm doing HO more.
yeah,
But at the same time, I wouldn't mind getting myself the O scale one if I have the money for it.
I mean, BLI did a great job with the S2 models. If I had the money to, I would go for an HO1, but the Lionel Legacy one is kind of more my thing because I collect O scale, but it's very expensive. Below that, we have 3 What If. Well, this one, I don't know if it would be What If. Baldwin Locomotive Works version, that's basically what it looked like before it got the lettering, if you think about it. These two, though, I know there's a lot of controversy behind these two. The Chessie Inspire paint scheme and the Daylight Inspire paint scheme. These two, I've talked to a lot of people, these two What If schemes are very controversial. A lot of
Reason
people,
being,
and some like them. It's just, I don't think the Daylight scheme really fits this thing. I mean, maybe if you, and I don't know if New York Central would too. There's not a lot of paint schemes I think would actually fit this. Then we have the Heislers, which, as you would think, since I'm a big Heisler fan and I have a Heisler headlight, that you would think I'd be excited about these, and I will agree. These are very cool engines, but this is the worst I've ever seen when it comes to pricing. So, for a small locomotive like this, I have the older version here. I have the older version right behind me. I got it for like $800. You would think with these Lionel Legacy Heislers that, for a 15-inch long engine, they'd be around, $1,300, maybe $1,400, right? No. So Lionel is now charging $1,700 for a Lionel Heisler. I can only wonder why. Considering you're not getting as much details or features with this thing compared to, like, say, the S2 or the 700E and so on. Now, I can understand if it had, a swinging bell and whistle steam, but it only has whistle steam. That's it. Besides the pricing, though, I do like all the different versions. We have the Blue Jay Lumber Company. We also have a Clearwater Timber, U.S. Signal Corps, a Juniata Railroad one. I like the black drivers and straight stack. Then we have my favorite, which is the Weyerhaeuser version, the version right here. So I like the variation you get here, but it's not worth $1,700. And they don't even make any log cars for these in this catalog. There's not a single log car in this catalog. Yeah, it's just that is insane. I paid less for my truck that I drive to work in. Yeah, it is insane considering how much you're getting. And I get it, it's their 125th anniversary, but I just feel like they've overhyped a little bit. And I'm not the only one who said that. There's a lot of people who felt the exact same way when this catalog came out. But it's kind of also one of the reasons why I've been leaning more towards getting HO scale stuff because, it's cheaper. I go to an HO scale club and I enjoy running my HO scale trains. I enjoy running my O scale trains too, don't get me wrong. But you get more bang for your buck now with HO scale products. Then right here we have your Legacy Atlantics that they've done 4 or 5 times now. And they used to be the budget-friendly Legacy steam engine. Now they're not. They're now asking $1,800. Sorry, not $1,800. $1,000 for a Legacy Atlantic. And these toolings, or this tooling here, is the Legacy A6 tooling. I don't know why they've not released the A6 again. But yes. So we have the Ann Arbor, Santa Fe, Chesapeake, and Ohio. I do like the Erie, but we know how Lionel is with blue. Chicago, Burlington, and Quincy. I do like that version, though.
That does look really nice.
Then we have the Chicago and Alton version, which kind of looks like a purple to me. And that's the end of the steamers. Now we're on to diesels. This is something that I know a lot of people are going to be happy about to see. We have the Lionel Legacy ES44s. But these are not just normal ES44s. These are the CSX Heritage units. So they're doing all of them. They're doing Western Maryland, RFMP, Family Lines, which is the Seaboard, the New York Central, and the Atlantic Coast Line. And these look exciting until you look at the price. $750 is a bit steep for a diesel. $430 is even more steep considering you're not getting any electronics in the non-powered ones now. So if these were maybe like, $600, maybe $650, I would get one, but $750 is a bit expensive for a plastic model. Well, mostly plastic, I should say. The body is ABS plastic. But why can't we just go back to when they did the die-cast, ES44s? Because those were amazing. For context for people out there, back in the early days when Lionel was making Legacy ES44s, they were all die-cast. And they were worth every penny. And they still are today. That's why it's really hard to find those die-cast ES44s, because a lot of people know what those things are worth. And yet there's people who think it's a good thing Lionel's jacking up prices. This is bonkers about all of this. Yeah, it is. That's why I'm into HO scale. At least you get what you pay for in that scale. Yeah, you do. You kind of get more bang for your buck with HO scale products nowadays. Now, I will say with MTH trains, even though they are on a smaller scale, you do get what you pay for with the detail, the quality, and the features. Like my P7, for example, that was a $1,200 engine. Yes, it was expensive, but I got what I paid for. It's a beautiful engine. And even the MTH Premier Great Northern GP9 I'll be hopefully getting this year is like $400, which is a really good deal for a full-scale diesel. And I'm saving a lot of money with that. Then we have more ES44s. George, I know you're going to be happy about this one. Oh, God. Yep, George is freaking out over the Southern. Hey, I would be excited too. But yeah, so we have the Southern version. We have the Kansas. Wait, no, sorry.
Wait. Hold on, him bien. Bring that thing back up. I need to check if they actually did the updates on it like they did with the Iowa one. Did they give it black number boards? No, they get the original. Yeah!
So we have the Norfolk Southern unit, the original Norfolk Southern, not the one we have today, but there was a Norfolk Southern before that, and it was like in this paint scheme. We have a nickel plate road, Conrail, and interstate. Once again, same price, Same story here. We have CPK, CN. I like the CPKC paint scheme, but once again, $750. Now we have the Train Masters. Now, it's been a couple years since they did the Train Masters. It's really cool to see them come back. We have 6 different variations, I should say. We have 2 in the Pennsylvania, 1 Reading, 1 Southern Pacific, 1 Milwaukee Road, 1 Chicago Northwestern. I do like the Chicago Northwestern version there. And we have a Central Railroad of New Jersey version. And I know MTH made these too. And you're saving maybe $100 to $200 if you get the MTH one and you get a little bit more detail. So once again, just comparing prices, you'd be better off getting an MTH one in this case. I know some people say, "Oh, you're being a bit harsh here on Lionel." Well, if you're comparing prices to another company who also makes the same engine, and their engine is cheaper and has more details, there's clearly something wrong. So, but anyways, back to the catalog. We have the GP35s. We have 6 different variations. I know there's a Great Northern one, and I know some people are going to say, "Oh, Brennan, are you going to get that since you're a Great Northern fan?" Well, I would if it was not $650. We also have the chassis system, Wabash. I've never heard of this railroad before, the ICG. Interesting. I've never heard of that.
Arizonian short line.
Oh, okay. We also have forgive me if I butcher this, but the Hoosiantonic? I don't know how to pronounce it.
Hoosiantonic. It's like a subsidiary of the Susquehanna.
Okay, yeah, I don't know how to pronounce that. Once again, forgive me if I butcher that name. Then we have the Blue Bonnet or the Freight Bonnet in the Santa Fe. We also have SD40-2s. Wait, sorry, no, SD40T-2s. Motor versions. So we have Wheeling and Lake Erie, Southern Pacific, a couple. Well, no, actually. Wait a minute. They say this is an. Oh, wait, hold on. Is it? Wait a minute. I almost thought there was no difference until I looked up at the cab. It says Wheeling and Lake Erie right there. Well, in terms of the abbreviation. So that is kind of weird. I don't know if this is an error in the catalog. I don't know if anyone else has noticed this, but they basically put 2 Rio Grande versions in here. We have a UP, Canadian National, Bessemer and Lake Erie, and the UP with a patch and all that. Once again, I don't know if you guys have noticed that, but there's the Wheeling and Lake Erie one is basically just the little decal right there is the only thing that's different, and then the lights. Other than that, this is basically the same as this one right here. So I don't know. Then we have the FAs. Now these right here make me excited. The Baltimore and Ohio FAs. Considering
My girlfriend would love those.
Both of these are powered. I believe one has Legacy and the other one is a Super Base unit. Yeah, both units are powered with light and smoke. Then we have Santa Fe, Chicago Northwestern, Pennsylvania Railroad, Wabash, and Canadian Pacific in the Pac-Man. Then we have the SD40T tunnel motor set for $1,100, which you get what you pay for. You get 5 pieces of rolling stock. One has freight sounds. That's worth it. Because honestly, $800 alone is just these 2 items. So you get honestly what you pay for in this catalog. Well, sorry, not in this catalog, but this section here. You get what you pay for with this one. We have auto racks, gondolas. I'm just going to skip through the rolling stock. Yeah, see, $500 for these cars. The Chicago, Illinois Midland boxcar looks very interesting to me. We have some bay window cabooses. We have some USA Disconnect cars. Once again, there's no logging cars, but this one's weird. This one has a rocket load.
I love the rocket car.
I don't know why they. What? Okay.
It's a comically large rocket. It's funny. You're supposed to be laughing. Why aren't you laughing?
We're making this family friendly. I'm trying so hard not
It's
to.
a comically large rocket. Why aren't you laughing?
Oh my goodness.
Why aren't you laughing? Why aren't you laughing, Brendan? It's supposed to
We
be
have
a comically large
ACF
rocket.
50 boxcars. But yeah, $100 for that log car with the rocket load. That is not worth it by any means. I'm trying so hard. It's just to let rockets explode. Well, it's just, I don't know how this is going to be. Then again, once again, the final product might be totally different. I shouldn't be putting down on them for that, considering that we haven't even seen the final product yet. Then we have 4 bay hoppers. For $260 for 4 hoppers. That's not bad. I've seen worse. Do these even come with coal loads? No.
They do indeed. They should anyway.
Features. They do not come with plastic coal loads. Interesting.
Hey, you know what that means? You can fill them up like by yourself.
I mean, that is a cool thing. Okay, these here, I know what these are. These are the XMTH tooling. I did not notice these before. These are XMTH tooling. Great Northern double door boxcar. This might be the only thing I might order in this catalog. Who knows? Then we're on to the traditional section. So the plan is after this catalog, we're going to end the stream because it's been over an hour and a half. So here we have the traditional section. We have the Pacifics. Now, I know these all look colorful, and they do look nice, but stop at the Pacifics. We've had these come out so many times. Maybe do a re-release of the big boys or something. Or even cab forwards, because there's only been done one time in the Line Chief Plus 2.0 line. It's just these Pacifics, they've just been made so many times. And considering what you're getting, $700, it's iffy in terms of what you're getting here. But yeah, we have Western Pacific, Texan Pacific, Reading Crusader, Baltimore and Ohio, which I do like that. I will admit, I do like that. And from what I remember, I think these were based off of the P7. I could be wrong. I think this was actually based off the P7 in terms of the center headlight version. But then again, I could be totally wrong. Next page. We have the F3s. We have Reading, Florida East Coast, Southern Pacific, and Santa Fe. $900 for the A units, considering, okay, what are you getting? 1 power. Okay. Line Chief, command equipped, real sounds equipped. I just think you're not getting your money here with these two, considering they're $900, the equivalent of a legacy diesel.
No, Jack, they're just legit just wing.
And only one of the units is powered. It's a 4 bond slabs. I mean, yeah, it does. This is the classic paint scheme they've done for a long time. Why didn't they do the 2353? That would have been perfect for the 125th anniversary. So for context, the 2353 was the Lionel F3 set they made back in the post-war days. And that was one of the most popular trains back in the day that Lionel ever made. And even today, but they're still being bought by collectors. And they've honestly should have done to pay homage to the original 2353. These are basically the 2353 tooling. They should have numbered that to 2353. They really should have. So then we have passenger cars. We have aluminum passenger cars. $1,100 for passenger cars. Okay. Then we have lines, Florida East Coast. Then we have battery operated sets. These are perfect for getting younger people into the hobby. We have. So we have. Okay, I'm sorry. Why does that face look funny? Anyways, we have.
Tom is being stinky right now.
I'm not used to Thomas in today. It's just, why can't we just go back? Yeah, I know it. Yeah, I know it's you. I've seen you in my Discord server. But yeah, so we have $130 for these sets are not bad. But the question is, when your child wants to go up to the next step and get an electric train set, how are they? I mean, I know these trains are going to run on those tracks, but you're basically jumping a $400 price increase. Yes, this helps people get into the hobby, but the starter sets we have nowadays are like $400 to $500, which is pricing most people out of the hobby in this case. So we have the Polar Express. This will probably sell well. We have the Hogwarts Express.
I'm gonna be honest. If I could be for real, with the Polar Express looking that way, it looks so much better than what we originally got with the G scale stuff. Because I still have the very first original G scale Polar Express train set.
Same here. But yeah, then we have Electrico. We have Navy Line Chief set with Bluetooth 5.0. I do like how this paint scheme looks on these cars and the engine. It's different, and I like that. Then we have the normal Pennsylvania Keystone set. Flat cars with piggyback trailers. Lionel Kitty C. Yeah, that's cool. Track cleaning cars. We've not seen these in so long. I think the last time they made these was like in 2007, 2008, somewhere around there. But basically how these track cleaning cars worked is that you would put this car right behind your locomotive, and when you took your when you took the car along, when the locomotive was pulling it, it was cleaning up the tracks as well in the process. Metal handrails, 2 rotating replaceable sponges.
Yeah.
Large track cleaning fluid reservoir. Okay, so they're modifying the tooling so you can actually you can actually do it with the car facing up. So with the original one I have an original one. You had to drop some fluid on the sponges if you wanted the stuff to come up. And that was pretty tedious, and you could risk breaking those sponges if you put too much on there. But I like how they're now redesigning it. Now we have the 080s, which are the definitive Lionel locomotives, I'll say. Because the locomotive that's probably been done the most, and it's probably by far the most popular, are these 080s. They've been in not hundreds, dozens of different paint schemes. Yeah, that long.
I don't like. Okay, if I could be for real with these ones, the Southern one, fucking. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Absolute peak. But the Union Pacific one, disgusting. They could have done better with that. They should have just made it black.
I mean, yeah, they should have. The Northern Pacific one looks okay. I know some people will say they'll hate this being 01, but I kind of like it.
Hold on. Bring that one back up. I'm gonna be honest. It reminds me of the MTH, or was it the Williams that did the J class in that?
Oh yeah, the Williams. Yeah.
It reminds me of that, but it was done better, kind of like your P7.
Yeah.
Where the sides of the smoke box were ball blue, but the smoke box front with the doors.
Oh
gray.
yeah.
That is how you're meant to do it.
Yeah. Then we have the RS3s. Now these, I'm very curious. Maintenance free motor. I wonder if they'll make both of the trucks power, because I know for a little bit of time.
Oh, for sure. Especially with the new ones, they know power is everything that they need. So yeah, definitely going to be double
These
powered.
older RX3s, they were tooled a long time ago, and they only had the front truck or the rear truck powered, and the front truck was just a dummy, but it collected power.
Star Wars.
So they're making two different sets. I like how they're doing these different, gimmicks, but I don't know.
It's just extra money. It's just the extra money.
Yeah.
Hey, if the mouse is paying for them, and if it's going to appear in a park, people are going to buy it. You know that.
Yeah. Yeah, I do
If
like
it's going to
Star
show
Wars.
in the parks, it's going to be bought. Someone's going to pay for it.
Okay, I will admit, this is actually super cool.
Oh, the Stormtroopers?
Yeah, the
Stormtrooper car?
Stormtroopers, that might actually be a
that's
car I
fire.
order in this catalog.
That's absolute fire.
Then we also have the one with, R2-D2 and C-3PO.
PP. Very dobre.
That's just so cool. Then we have DC Comics. More DC Comics. We have the Joker, I think. Tank here. Then we have the Looney Tunes Rocket version of this. Tom and Jerry's been around for 85 years? Wow. It's just, this is... I remember watching Tom and Jerry as a kid. It was one of my favorite cartoons.
This is what my dad grew up with up in Czech, dog, but it was all Czech translated.
Then we have Hogwarts Express.
For the 800th time.
I mean, I do like the Hogwarts Express. I still have yet to get one, and the Polar Express, too.
I can try to get you one if you want.
Nah, that's fine. I'm running out of space for O-scale stuff.
Did you know they also made normal variants of the Hall class after they made the mold?
Really?
Yeah, there's normal green variants of the Hall class.
I did not know that. We have Disney.
Straight up Disney. Yes, I need one of those.
Oh, one of these? Yeah, Angela Trana Thomas. That's great artwork.
He's absolute baller.
We have
Barbara!
oh God. So we have Bob Ross.
The Bob Ross trees. Bob Ross personal trees.
We have Then we have I am a big Uno person oh my gosh. This might be the only the other car I might get in this catalog.
Rock'em sock'em.
We have Peanuts, Chevy and Ford. I like all the gimmicks they're doing.
They're all good.
Oh,
Strawberry.
This I do need. Definitely need.
Yes,
I remember going to Strasbourg. That was a great experience. I do like, different gimmicks and different paint schemes they're doing, even if they're not all accurate.
Yeah.
Oh, hello there.
I feel where you're coming from.
Gotta head out. Have a good one, y'all. Hey, you too.
Little happy puffer. It's the green puffball. Right, it's the green puffball.
So we have Chevy, Ford. That's cool. You can do personalized cars. Area 51. That's yep. Halloween. The Halloween Commodore Vanderbilt, the Flying Dutchman. I
don't like it.
I think okay.
I don't like it.
The name.
Like the name is okay. They could have done it with anything else. No, they already did it with a triplex.
We have the MTH. These are XMTH tooling. Christmas. The Christmas Commodore Vanderbilt, the Polar Express one, I think looks really cool.
It's better than the Halloween one.
We also have. I forgot they were doing the Christmas Heisler set for $2,000.
Okay, now that one makes a whole lot more sense.
We have the Christmas Commodore Vanderbilt. We have Frozen. We have a couple Christmas sets.
Who still watches Frozen for Disney to make sense? I'm sorry, that's just something that I just can't comprehend.
So we're almost at the end. Yeah,
And don't forget the two extra releases that they did.
Oh yeah, we also have some extra stuff here that they're still selling. There's
Like
still
Thomas. They're still doing which one?
They're still doing the Line Cheap Plus 2.0 mics. Is that it? Okay.
Yeah. Ow.
Freight cars. Oh, they're still doing the Doodlebugs.
Oh yeah, dude, Doodlebugs sell like hotcakes, dude. Of course they're never gonna let that up.
Yeah, that's me. What even is that little?
It's mint.
I do love that B&O Doodlebug.
Which one? I didn't see it. Is it painted blue?
Yes.
Yeah. They need to make an HO one. If not, I need to find a Spectrum one. I'm gonna paint one for my girlfriend.
And we have some American Flyer stuff, and we've now reached the end of the catalog. So yeah, this was an interesting catalog this year. And was it overhyped? Yeah, I think so.
Little.
A lot of the stuff in there was just overpriced, and some of the stuff there was cool, but the stuff or the features that you're getting with some of the stuff is kind of lackluster. And you're getting sometimes the same detail and features as an MTH product, but for a less price. That's the key thing. And would I order anything from this catalog? There's a high chance probably no. The only things I might order is a couple of those box cars, but that's like it. Engine-wise, not really. Because, well, I'm pretty selective of what I collect in O scale or even HO. As you guys know, I'm a big Pennsylvania guy. I'm a big Great Northern guy. New York Central, B&O, those are the main railroads I collect. And even though there was some Great Northern stuff in here, it was just a little bit overpriced for my liking. Well, that does it for the stream. Thank you all so much for watching and being here all this time. I couldn't have made it to 4 years without all you guys. And I really appreciate every single one of you for supporting me all this way. I will see you all in the next video. Have a good one, y'all.
Bye, chat. He's still left it live. Oh gosh, I should maybe let him know.